Mortal Kombat. It is huge. You cannot go anywhere in the world without running into someone who knows what Mortal Kombat is. So, what do you believe about Mortal Kombat that makes this franchise such a global favorite?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's sense of adventure, I think one, and I think it's also it's extreme violence. I think it's a bunch of things, and I think it also has so many colorful characters and interesting, people to play with. So I think it has its appeal in that way. And on top of that, I remember when I was a child playing it, it always felt a little transgressive playing it because it almost was like this is something you're not supposed to do, and then you're doing it. And I think some people like to feel that way.
It's like a little taboo-ish, right, to be playing this game. So that leads, let's great segue into this next question. So what are your earliest memories of playing Mortal Kombat? Like when you were playing the games, what console were you playing on, or do you have a specific story that you can recall?
Well, I'm gonna date myself because um, the how I played Mortal Kombat was on the giant amusement game, where you put coins in, and then you have this toggle, and then you have these buttons, and it was hardcore because you're gonna play someone who's standing right next to you. You don't have the safety of of the Wi-Fi or internet to protect yourself from. If you beat that person or that person beats you, you have to reckon with a real person over there. So I remember playing that stuff, and it was a lot of fun to play.
Was there a specific character that you always picked?
I kind of liked, I liked Kung Lao. Kung Lao was always so cool, with the hat and all that stuff. He was almost like a character from a Western, right? I mean, when he shows up, with the swagger and then the hat, it's almost like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or one of these, Westerns, or the Magnificent Seven. So I like Kung Lao.
Absolutely. So what can you tell me about Shang Tsung?
I can tell you that Shang Tsung is one of the most powerful sorcerers in our world, and he is a shapeshifter and a consummate soul taker. He he has to consume these souls to keep his power and his youth. It's something that he has been cursed with by the elder gods. So he is devious, and he is interestingly diabolical, but we love him all the same.
What did it feel like putting on? I mean, when I watched it, Shang Tsung is bigger than life. Like he commands the screen. So, and I think part of it is when you put on the costume. And what was that like putting on that costume for the first time?
It was, I it was so interesting, and because the costume takes a long time to put together, and a it takes a village, really. I mean, it takes a whole lot of people to put it together because it has so many parts to it. It has the chest plate, and then the shoulder plates, and then these things, and underneath it there's still other stuff, and then there's a cloak that goes on behind it. So there's a lot of parts, and there's a lot of parts for good reason, because I mean, only with all these separate parts can you move quite agilely, and fight, really. So it was incredible. I mean, it's a very heavy costume, but once you put it on, it's an out of body experience. You feel transformed, basically, and you feel powerful, because it is so heavy, and there's so much heft to it. So I loved wearing it, but it is very hot and very heavy in it.
Especially in Australia, right?
Yes, especially in Australia. When were we shooting? Yeah, it was. I think it was summer. I think when we were doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cast assembled for this film is truly global. I don't think that any of y'all are in the same country right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
You guys are truly diverse and truly talented. What can you say it was like working with your castmates?
It was wonderful. I think they came with so much. I think um, they for one thing, I mean they're all great actors, but they're also great fighters, and they come with different backgrounds and different things. Joe Taslim with his judo, or Lewis with his Muay Thai, and Max with his Wushu, and Ludi with his own training. Uh, but more than that, I think there was such a sense of camaraderie and community. We ate together. We we uh, we they went on a party cruise together, but that's a different story altogether. Uh, we did a lot of things together. Some very memorable. It was a wonderful time. Especially when you're doing a movie like this, and then the movie is about groups of people working together. Whether you're from Outworld or from Earthrealm, you are not going to win either of these realms by yourself. And I think that is the message within this movie, right? I mean, you can only win if you work together. And so I think that is a message that we're very proud of, and I think I'm very proud of the cast that has been assembled for this film as well.
Absolutely. And speaking of that collaboration, from what I understand, it wasn't just with the castmates, it was also with your director. What was it like working with Simon McCoy?
Simon is a pure gift to work with. I mean, his knowledge of Mortal Kombat is very extensive and very comprehensive. You feel like you're in very safe hands. But not only that, I mean, he's such a great storyteller, and he has such a great love for every single one of the characters. Every single one of the characters has a moment to shine in this movie, and that's a lot of characters to be thinking about. And so I loved working with Simon. On top of the fact that he's incredibly collaborative, he always has a moment to listen to what you have to suggest or what you have to bring to it. And it was a true pleasure of working with him.
So we spoke about how your costume had to have like all these different moving parts for agility, because there are a lot of stunts. There are a lot of movements and a lot of choreography. Can you tell me about the process or what you did to kind of train and prepare for that?
I think anytime you do a film like this, you try to be as fit as you can, and because you never know what's going to transpire in the course of the couple of months that you're shooting. On top of the fact that Simon is so collaborative, so at times if we feel that something is going to serve the story, if we feel that it's going to resonate with the fans or speak to the fans in any kind of way, neither Simon nor Greg nor the actors, we're precious about what we have, and that is written. We are first and foremost trying to make a movie for the fans, and for cinema lovers. So because of that, you always have to be ready, and you always have to be fit, and so uh, yeah, that's we stayed fit for the film.
I will say that this movie is so much fun. I have had the privilege of getting to watch it and I've replayed some scenes and I imagine filming it was also equally as fun. Do you have any like stories that you can share with me about your time on set?
Well, filming of action sequences are very interesting, right? Because I mean, we see them as one complete piece, but it might take days to film, and we're shooting it from one angle, and then we're shooting from another, or we're shooting it as as a long master shot, and then when you throw in the visual effects, and then that it becomes a whole thing. I mean, an action sequence can take days to shoot. Uh, so I only have this to say about all the actors who were involved with the action sequences like Lewis and Max and Ludi, and and Jessica and I'm sure I'm missing out someone, but all of these, and Joe Taslim, of course. I think that the number of hours that I've seen them put into these scenes, and we'll be at dinner, and then they'll be comparing bruises and stuff, and it's incredible. So I couldn't be happier to be with this bunch of actors.
All right, so the most important question that everyone has had me ask is Scorpion or Sub-Zero?
Oh, that is such a tricky question. Okay, I have to say, Scorpion during the months of fall and winter, and Sub-Zero for the months of spring and summer.